The other day, I was having a little gander through social media, as you do, and I came across this reel of somebody clearly struggling with their emotional well-being, squealing like a child who's just unwrapped the world's best Christmas present. And she was talking about this amazing new research which shows that you can make yourself feel awesome just by doing certain poses. There I am, nodding along, glad this lass is using science to help herself heal when it happens. The stitch. And I start to feel myself sink into sadness as I realise yet another person has been hoodwinked. And you've probably seen it, like Amy Cuddy's viral power pose TED Talk. It's had over 60 million views and is the second most watched TED Talk ever. It was so revolutionary that people were rocking up to boardrooms, strutting their best Wonder Woman pose, expecting amazing things to happen. But it wasn't just as lay people who were excited by the prospect. A humongous self-help industry rose from nowhere like a giant Babylonian tower turned into the concept of standing like a superhero to boost your confidence and thereby change your life with barely any effort. Sadly, like many fads, gimmicks and even miracle cures that fly to the centre of the known universe, the science she touted confidently from that red spot in front of the audience didn't actually stand up to any scientific scrutiny. Yep, sorry to say it, but I'm about to call bullshit on yet another bit of faux science. First step to seeing behind the veil is to unpack a few things. So Cuddy's research claimed that holding expansive poses for 2 minutes could boost testosterone, lower cortisol, and make you feel and act more powerful. It was catchy, simple, and made us all feel like we could easily hack our way to confidence. No therapy, no years of work, and definitely no keep calm and carry on framed prints required. Just a simple pose and a good old-fashioned stiff upper lip style pep talk, then boom, you're the very best version of yourself, which sounds truly phenomenal and absolutely why anybody who dedicates their lives to helping people heal should get behind it. Which kind of also explains why the endless conveyor belt of coaches, trainers and LinkedIn gurus still push it relentlessly in the same way old and outdated personal trainers push you onto a treadmill for 3 hours a day to lose weight. Unfortunately for Cuddy and the 60 million people who watched her TED Talk, it was all fluff and no substance. You see, when other researchers tried to replicate her findings, the results were worse than that blind date who promised the top table in a Michelin-star restaurant, which ended up being a meal whipped up by the chain-smoking nan who watches Gordon Ramsay on the telly. But it wasn't just one dodgy back-alley researcher who was being pushed a few quid by the top dudes in one of the pharma companies. It was a whole host of scientists conducting large-scale studies. They all tried and failed to find any meaningful changes in a person's hormones or risk-taking behaviour, even after they'd pulled their best hand-on-hip pose as if they're about to rocket out to the time warp by Richard O'Brien. Now, in a nutshell, the original effect on testosterone and cortisol, which is what landed her front and centre on one of the most coveted stages in the world, was complete and utter baloney. It was such poppycock that even Cuddy's co-author politely sidesteps themselves out of the conversation over the hormone claims. Awkward. Now, as an aside, I've tiptoed on the little red TEDx spot for about 15 minutes back in 2019, though unlike Cuddy, I was banished to the back of Beyond with my talk deemed too controversial, despite having to submit my credentials and research to back up my findings. Weird. Anyhow, now before you start spamming my comments and socials with hate mail about how it helped you blah blah blah, it's not to say there was no effect whatsoever. Some studies show you might feel a tiny bit more confident for a minute or two, which is definitely cool, but chances are that's just because we're actually emotionally reliving being a kid who felt awesome when we flew around the house and blasted away those pesky vegetables with the lasers from our eyes. Now, there's also this thing called the placebo, which is so powerful. It's literally instantly healed people from horrific physical and mental trauma, aka miraculous healings which have happened at Lourdes in France. But, and this is a big but, which is why it's in capitals over on the blog, if it were as she promised, the effects would have been long-lasting and been more effective than placebo or something happening by chance. And this is not what happened. Those big, scientifically evaluable, lasting effects on testosterone and cortisol that she promised were AWOL. Now, I really am sorry to once again be the bearer of bad news, but there really is no magic hormone surge and no transformation into a boardroom superhero after a few minutes of doing these poses. And yes, the managers and directors are absolutely right to call security on you for your witness. Now, thankfully, as always, there are some simple, fast and effective biohacks that you can use which are backed by science to reverse the stress, feel awesome, and allow your prefrontal cortex the space it needs to direct you down the fastest path to long-lasting happiness. So here's what actually helps. Number 1, essential oils. Now, scents like lavender, bergamot, or frankincense have been studied a lot and proven to reduce anxiety and promote calm. You can either pop a drop on your pulse points, such as your wrist, or behind your ears, or a couple of drops in the diffuser. I love a good diffuser boost, especially as it's a sneaky way to chill out all the other members of your household. Number 2, psoas release yoga poses. Now, if I were in charge of the world, I would make these a mandatory part of everybody's day. And the psoas muscle, which is actually 2 muscles, sometimes called the muscle of the soul, is a key player in the body's stress response. Hacking and relaxing this muscle literally reverses the fight or flight response and quickly reharmonizes your nervous system. Now, there are a few which can help, but you'll find my 3 faves listed in order of ease coming up next. Now, first up is child's pose. So kneel, fold forward with arms extended or by your sides, forehead to the mat. This passive forward bend gently lengthens the psoas while compressing the abdomen, stimulating the vagus nerve, which is key to the rest mode for a quick nervous system smooth. It promotes introspection, quietening the mind, and rebuilding the mind-body bridge through grounded surrender. Low lunge, and so from a lunge position, drop the back knee, sink the hips forward and arms up or on the thigh. This hip opener directly targets the psoas on one side at a time, dissolving tightness from chronic stress, and it activates the parasympathetic response, calming the amygdala, which is your fear center, and enhances mind-body synergy by improving energy flow through the pelvis, leading to clearer thinking and emotional stability. And finally, the bridge pose. So lie on your back, feet flat, lift your hips while pressing your shoulders down. And this back bend actively stretches out the front of the body, releasing deep psoas tension accumulated from sitting or stress. It also invigorates the spine, balances hormones, and resets the fight-flight loop by opening the heart center, fostering emotional release and a harmonious flow between physical ease and mental peace. And the other thing you can do is deep breathing. So slow diaphragmic breathing, such as inhaling for 4, holding for 4, and exhaling for between 6 and 8, helps to signal your nervous system into safety, lowering cortisol, and enables you to feel grounded. It's the easiest way to hit the biological reset button and can safely be used even when you're outside the house without anybody being aware of what you're doing. In truth, confidence does not come from 2 minutes of superhero arms. It comes from within. It is built on action, practice, and real self-belief, which only arises after you've dived in head first into the things you need to do or overcome, which are currently terrifying you. You are the only you there is, and you are the only one who's responsible for your happiness. And if you've been keeping up with these posts, we're on number 19. And if you've been using these like free therapy sessions and taking action, your life will have already changed. If, however, you've just been tuning in and putting it aside and chasing around the internet for the next miracle cure, you'll probably be in the exact same place in another 19 weeks from now. Look, everybody's got free will, and I can't make you do anything, nor should I. But if power posing makes you smile, go for it. But for long-lasting calm and confidence, please at least humour me and try what's actually proven by multiple scientific studies to help your body and mind. Now, I personally think it's high time we retired the myths and made room for what actually works. P.S. If you're ready for real calm, head to the Happiness Lab for science-backed tools to help your mind, body and soul reharmonise. Join for free today. Links in the bio. See what actually works.